Well, how you doing there, Mr. Gray? I see you just chilling by the water bowl. Yeah, your eyes look good. Your coat's starting to look better. Yeah, well, Papa got you all medicated this morning. Cleaned up your eyes and everything. Yep. I see you've been licking the leg there that got all stapled up. Is it bothering you a little bit? And Papa put some Neosporin on it too, and everything. So it should be fine. But you're starting to look better. Hey, and he did take a little bit of a walk with me this morning. Yeah, that was before 8. Y'all weren't around then. We've already fixed the hose. Got all the watering done. Of course, the kitties were fed. And Mr. Gray was all taken care of. Yeah, and it's hotter than a hoo-hoo today. Well, there you are, friends and family. Good to see you again. Here on July the 8th, I believe it is. Yeah, 2023. And like always, we got things to do out here in our little piece of paradise in the deep south of Alabama. And as you can see, old Mr. Gray's chilling in the carport. Whew. And I was sitting on that concrete this morning while I was, doctoring Mr. Gray up, as I have to do in the mornings and in the evenings. And I was going to tell you, it was rather chilly on the old buttocks, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we've got the watering all done, and that sort of brings me to what we're going to be doing today. You see, as all of you know, I do little small garden plantings. In fact, we're actually bigger this year than we've been in the past, because it's just me and the kitty crew. And we like to have a little fresh, with our canned in our box, just like you do. Yeah, I won't lie to you and say, I'm in there canning and freezing and doing all that kind of stuff. It gets extremely hard for just one little old man when you can make a trip to Superfoods and pick up a few things one little person can eat, in a month. I don't eat that much. No, maybe you do. Yeah, look into that. So, but now we've got things spread out. My watering system is rather, laborious at times. Let me show it to you. Maybe you do the same. Yep, there it is. My entire watering system today. My black watering can, 2 gallon, and my green watering can. Now, why do I have 2? Well, you see, you want to stay balanced. You put one on your left side, one on your right. You step in just like this, and if I wasn't holding all of y'all, I'd pick them all both up at the same time, lift up with my legs, and head on to the first planting to be watered, which is normally over here on the northeast cucumbers planting, where the kitty crew's got the experiment going between the Purplish Bush hybrid from Bonnie and the straight 8 heirloom, also from Bonnie. Yeah, and I see they snuck in a couple of green beans there, pole beans. Yeah, they've heard me say it so many times. Don't waste a pole. Grab some beans and let them grow. And that's exactly what they've done, just like they've seen Papa do so many times. Yeah, we still got to get that. Oh, maybe this evening. But like I say, there's my watering system. And we go from each plant. We go from there to the clothesline pole plant. Then we go over to the compost pile, volunteer lot planting. Then we come down here to the tomato and pepper patch. We got squash and onions too. We go over and water the onions in the old raised bed. And then we tote 4 gallons on down to the tire planters down on the south side fence. Yeah, and that gets the backyard plantings. And then we go to the south side garden bed where we continue the process. Currently, all in all, I think we're just under 200 gallons a day. And when you figure that up, 8 pounds a gallon. Yeah, that's 1,600 pounds of water toting. So we're going to automate some of the bigger plantings like the tomato and the pepper patch. And I had a real fine close friend of mine and viewer too send me this Miracle-Gro Smart Soaker hose. It's 50 foot, 3/8 inch. I've used many of them over the years, but I was a little slack on them at the current time, and we were talking one evening. You know, I was going to be getting some more, and hey, you know what showed up in the mail? This right here. Yep. Really do want to thank her for taking care of us. And the tomato and pepper patch too. Yep. And the first thing we do is we lay it out here in the bright sunshine. That's so it's going to relax. In fact, as soon as I put y'all down, I'll undo it and I'm going to go ahead and spread it out so it can all heat up and uncoil. Yeah. Otherwise, just me and it are going to have a time getting it through all of this. In fact, it'd be better to lay it all out before you even plant it. But hey, that couldn't happen because we didn't have the hose at the time. And we're going to be holding it down with some of my homemade garden staples or stakes. They're just made out of a clothes hanger. And if you go to the dry cleaners or know somebody that goes to the dry cleaners and gets all them hangers, you know, they always have an abundance, get them from them. And then, you know, hey, tell me in the comments and I'll show you how to make your own garden stakes. I've had these, I don't know, 10, 15, some of them 20 years. Yeah, they just keep going and going and going. Hey, they're coated in plastic too. Some are, some aren't. But they're great and they're free. If you know somebody, or if you go to the dry cleaners a lot. But hey, let me get this all stretched out. I'll come back and show you where we're at. Well, y'all, as you can see, we got step one completed. We've got that soaker hose all uncoiled, laid out, sitting in the sun. Yep, and it's 50 foot long. See, it just keeps going and going and going. This is a very important step. Why? Because it's made out of rubber. Well, in fact, these are actually made out of old tires. Yeah, it's recycled rubber from old tires. That's a fact. But we're going to let this sit out here and bake in the sun for a bit till it gets all nice and soft and flexible. It'll be easier to work through the plants. Yeah. And we'll get it worked through, staked down, and I'll come back and show you what we got. Now, you know, it was tied with these little wire twist ties. Save these because they come in handy for many things all through the garden. Tying up little things to stakes, to poles, to what have you. So find a place to store them and keep them for when you need to tie something up in a jiffy. If maybe only temporarily. They work great for temporary tie-ups. Just another pro tip from old Mr. Tom. So hey, as soon as that soaker hose gets all heated up, I'm going to start snaking it through there and getting it all set up. Woo, yeah. It's toasty roasty out here in this hot blazing sun. Yeah. I'm getting the vitamin D for sure. Probably going to have an overload before this is done. Yeah, and I would like to do it while it's in the shade. But hey, there's not much shade out here anymore since old Mr. Oak got taken down too. But I'm going to have to get y'all back in the house before you overheat again. Yeah, and get heat stroke like you have in days past. So pardon me. Now, any of y'all that want to come on out and help the old man, now feel free. Get your vitamin D for free too. And save on supplements from Amazon and Walmart. Yeah, come out here and get it naturally. But until I get that all set up, y'all can sit in the house, get some sweet tea, and some fresh coleslaw I made. Enjoy. And I'll get back to you when I'm done. Oh, there you are again, friend and family. I see you made it back. Yeah, Well, I hope you enjoyed the sweet tea and snacks I left for you in the house. Because as you can see how I look, I want it inside. Let me get over here in the shade where it's a little more tolerable. Over here I think it's about 96. Out there, I don't have a clue. I know it feels like you're being roasted alive, but I am through with all of y'all's help. Of course, Kitty Crew helped some too. And I wish I could have showed you as we were doing it, but it's tedious, especially with the amount of help I have, just saying. But I did get her done in the way I wanted. So while the camera's still going and not overheating too, let me show you what we got done. So if you'd like, you can do it too. Yeah, I know, we got to go back out here. We're going to start here. Now, we didn't put it on the onions or the squash. This was primarily for the tomatoes and the peppers. And you can see right in here, right there is the end cap. Now that's the end cap, not where you hook the hose to. Now I wanted that up here on high ground. See, this whole plot is slightly sloped to the southwest. So I started up here with the end, and as you can see, we just made circles. We just made a loop around each plant, and we fastened them with one of those homemade garden stakes. Right there. You can see it better over here on this one. There's the homemade garden staple or stake or what have you, and there's the loop. And there's a loop around each tomato. Then we head on down here and we loop there, and we loop this one, and then this one, and then finally this last celebrity. And there's Cleo, yeah, the queen, and of course the garden supervisor, out here to make sure we've done it right. Yeah, she came when the work was done. Yeah, well, she'll probably bite me for that. Are you gonna bite me again on my foot? No. But you don't want Papa to go, do you? Nope, she don't. But it's easier to see here on the peppers. We just loop, loop, and we loop again, and again. And of course, Cleo's whining because she don't want me to be walking around. She wants me to pay attention to her, like all ladies do. She's my little queen. I love her and she loves me to death. Yeah, in her own way. But you can see right there was where the 50-foot ended. See the nice shiny brass coupling? See the old white one? Yep. The 50-foot wasn't quite long enough to do the whole pepper and tomato patch, so we had to dig out an old 25-foot that we didn't know we still had in the shop. Connected it up right there and continued on, as you can see. And right there's one of our garden staples made from one end of an old clothes hanger. And we just continued on. And there's going to be some places we're watering that don't have any plants, like right here. Yep, and it's a shame, but we'll probably stick something along there. Why waste the water, right? That's my thought. Hey, maybe some Swiss chard, radishes. Who knows? We've got some more okra transplants coming along. Yeah, we could stick them there. They love the heat, just like the peppers do. But now we did check out that old one and pressurize it before we went through all this work. And I would tell you to do that too. Make sure you check your old soaker hoses prior to doing all this work, because it's work running them around the base of each one of these plants without hurting the plants, especially when it's just you and a kitty too. Right, Cleo? Yep, you're a big help. You just don't know how much help you are. Yeah. She's help in the motivational, inspirational department. So that's all there is to it. And see, I put the end that we're going to connect to right here at the lower portion of the pepper and tomato patch. And if you noticed, the double, where it's doubled, is on the uphill side on each one of these, not on the bottom side. That's because that's where most of the water is going to emanate through, where it's overlapped. Hey, isn't that clever too? But I mean, you can do it any way you want. This is the way I do it and the way I find it most efficient. And I've been using these soaker hoses for a very, very long time. Well, a cloud came by and blocked the sun off of me and you. And of course I got the little queen here. Yeah, she wants to be held. She just don't understand. Who's Papa talking to? I don't see no peoples. I just see me and him. But hey, let's connect it on up and check it on out. This will save me a lot of toting. I mean, currently in the mornings I put 10 gallons on this planting, you know, including the squash and the onions. And then during the heat of the day, if everything's looking really heat stressed, I'll put another 10 gallons on. That does two things. One, it increases the moisture in the soil so the plant can uptake it. See, when plants start to get really heat stressed, like during the midday blazing sun, they transpire more. You know, that's breathe. And during the breathing transpiration process, they lose more moisture than the roots can uptake. But if you add more water to the soil so the roots can take up more, you'll notice they perk up a little during the heat of the day. The second thing that it does for the plants is it cools the root zone down. That is, if you let the water run till the water's nice and cool. Always, always, always empty out your hose and get cool water before you hook it up to your irrigation or start watering your plants. Because if you don't, that water can be 160, 180 degrees. It'll kill them. I know. I've had some people help me and do just that. Hey, let's hook it up and see what we got. Yeah, I think Cleo got bored. She's heading back to the cool sanctuary of the cob poke. Yeah, quite perturbed she is. Hey, let me get that hose hooked up and we'll be back. Well, we got her hooked up, got the water turned on, and of course, like always, we had some technical difficulties. Yeah, but you can see right here, it's doing its job. Yeah. And what we got here is a cutoff to where we can cut this off, disconnect our soaker hoses, and put back on our spray nozzle. Yeah, makes it easy and quick. Surely it does. Don't take long at all. But we had a technical difficulty, as I said. Now, this here first older soaker hose, when we first turned it on, when we made the connection over there, yeah, the older hose was doing fine. It was spraying out, it was being happy. But the newer hose right here and continuing on up the peppers and the tomatoes, which now you can see is dripping like mad, wasn't doing a thing. Nope, not nary a drop. Yep, so I went up to the very end and took the end cap off. Yeah, and the water was coming out. I thought, what the hey, boy, I did all this work and then the new soaker hose is plugged up. But just in case you freak out when doing this at your place, remember, let me show you. You know, they say this is a smart soaker. And it's got one of these smart discs in it to regulate the pressure. Yep, right here it is, green. And there you can see it in the end. And true enough, this was in this end right here. You say, well, it's supposed to be there, Mr. Tom. Well, yeah, if I hook the hose up right there. then it has one in front of it. And what this does is this creates a pressure drop. You go from a large size opening to that tiny opening, back to the large size 3/8 opening. And that's called a pressure drop. Yeah, mechanical. You don't got to turn the knob, turn the faucet, or have a pressure regulator. Little disc will do it for you. But, yeah, there was already one in this hose, soaker hose right here, my older one. So between the one that was here and this one that was there wasn't enough pressure to even get water to go up that second 50 feet of soaker hose. So I had to remove this one. And you can see now that new soaker hose is going to town, as is the old. And in some places it appears to be doing better than others. And that's one thing I'll say about this type of soaker hose made from recycled tires and rubber. Yep, it's all chopped up, mixed up with something, then extruded in a fashion where there's supposedly a bunch of tiny little holes in it. And you can see one of them right here, spurting water right there. Yeah, some of them spurt, some of them drip. It's sort of chaotic. But don't worry about your plants getting wet, they'll be okay. They dry real quick in the sun. And you know what? I've never seen that miracle of where, you know, supposedly a magnifying glass is made out of a drop of water and burns a hole right through my plant. I've never seen that. You know, it's like, what happens when it rains on a summer sunny day? Yeah, we've all seen that happen, and there hasn't been total crop loss, right? Yeah, just saying. You know, imagine what they'll come up to scare us with on social media. But that's how it works. But in case you put two together and you got two of these pressure regulator discs and water don't come out of the second one, remove this one. Okay? So, this will make my life a lot easier every day, in the mornings and in the afternoons too, because this time of year, when we get up in the mid to high 90s in the shade, heat indexes up in the mid to high teens, yeah, and that's what me, the kitty crew, the birdies, everything is feeling. Yeah, you just can't stay in the shade. You got to get her done if you want to eat. And I do enjoy eating, as does my kitty crew. So, yep, this will save me toting during the height of summer. Each one of these tomato plants gets a basically 1 gallon of water in the morning. 1 gallon of water to its roots in the afternoon if it's really heat stressed. What do I mean by that? It's all droopy, wilting, and the edges are starting to dry out, which means they will not recover. And I've showed you all that. It looks like they've been toasted around the borders of the leaves. And that's not disease. That's the heat. Like I say, the plants have to increase their transpiration as the temperature goes up. If there's not enough moisture in the ground, they can't replace it through the roots. They start to dehydrate, just like we do. Yeah, and that's why I've always found that putting the water to them on midday, especially at the root zone, was beneficial. I did it when I was growing commercially. People around here that grow food commercially do it too. They got those big walking pivot sprinklers. Yeah, you'll see them out in the fields, raining down rain all across the cornfields, or tomato fields, or whatever they got. Soybeans, sorghum, millet. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and it don't all die and get diseased and blow away. No. And that's the guys who do it for a living and not on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, or what have you. Two different worlds they are. One makes a living by showing you the greatest and latest, so they say. One makes a living putting it on your plate and keeping your belly full each and every day. Yeah. So hey, thanks to B for sending this soaker hose down so we can get our pepper and tomato patch all happy and saving old Mr. Tom's back. Because, yep, you know, it's not much, but if you think about it, there's 1 watering can, 2 watering cans, 3 watering cans, 4, 5, 6, 7 between those 2 pepper plants and the onions. We'll say 8 watering cans. Each watering can's 2 gallons. Yeah. Do the math. So, well, that's only 16 gallons. Well, each gallon is what? 8.04 pounds? Or is it 0.6? Yeah, we'll just say 8. So each watering can is 16 pounds. Yeah. That's 128 pounds to tote. Yeah, it's good exercise. And you get your steps in too. And I didn't mind. But as I continue through the year, as I always do, that number climbs. Well, y'all, it ain't much. I'm just putting in some soaker hose. I'm sure all of y'all have done it too. Have your own way. Maybe not like mine. Maybe you like yours too. Well, this is how I've done it. Pretty much ever since they came out. Many years ago. Yeah, I use soaker hoses and drip tape and all that when I commercially grew. You know, for veggies, for the supermarkets in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Yeah, then too, I made money on growing food. Now I peddle. It's just for me. And every once in a while, Spooky and the kitty crew too. Spooky will eat some things if he sees me eat them too. Hey, if it wasn't educational, maybe it was entertaining. And maybe it kept the boredom away from you. Hey, I got to get in. I got to get me a cold drink. Hopefully he left me something in the fridge. I'm thinking there's an ice cold Pago in there just for this old man. But hey, until I and the kitty crew, you know them all. Cleo, as you saw, the queen, out here supervising the old man again. And Speedy and Spooky and old Mr. Gray. Sometimes Heathcliff, very rare I must say. And little Gracie too. See you on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Remember to get your electrolytes, your minerals, and your vitamins too. Yeah, and may you be blessed by God as you bless those in your lives. And again, thank you to all ones that donated through Super Thanks. We really do appreciate it. That money will be used for Mr. Gray continuing care, which he'll be the rest of his life, and the kitty crew, and all of you who donated to Brits towards his bill too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. And I hope in some way bringing these videos and sharing what little I know with all of you is somehow more than just saying thank you to all of you. For I truly am blessed by the community we have here. And I hope I, in my own little way, can bless you too. So hey, I got to get on in where it's cool. Whew, I got to get me a cold drink. Yes, I do. Well, about time I can finish up and start picking up. Yeah, it starts to become overcast. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Well, we got to get picked up anyway and call it done. There'll be something else to do a little later to have fun. Yes, there will. Let me go in and check on Mr. Gray. I think he's laying in that cool carport. Yeah, he ain't crazy like the little old man. There he is where he can see Papa Tom. Mr. Gray, you doing okay, little buddy? Yep, you want to come on over here and check out what we've been doing? You do? You're looking better, buddy. Yeah. I checked. You got food and water. You're doing okay. Papa loves you. but I'm still feeling bones. Yep. We're feeding them special food too. So don't despair. We're doing everything we can for old Mr. Gray and providing for his care. Yeah, and I still got a pile of junk here. I know people said I do better with the carport, but there's a long way to go. Mr. Gray don't care. His part is just fine, and he's loving it too. Later, all.